it's so easily divided by like several different factors?
Oh, no. I'm not talking about why is our time divided into 12 hours or, 24. I'm talking about why is 12 0? Why does 12 a.m. come before 1 a.m.?
Oh, well, in the 24-hour clock, it just gets rid of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, that's fair. It is 0. I'm okay with that. I don't like whoever was like, you know what, 12 0. This is how it works. Not a fan.
And welcome back to the 7 Stars to the Right podcast.
Yeah. This is what we stand for here.
That's good.
You want pre-chatter? This is pre-chatter for you. Hot takes about time.
Welcome to session 24. How's everyone doing?
God.
If I were forced to say, I would say roughly how I was doing at the beginning of the previous episode plus 2 hours.
I gotta tell you, Jeff, I've just had the worst week since last episode.
I don't know, man. I've had a terrible day. I had to do this fucking podcast.
I know,
For those of you not in on the joke, we were recording this one right after the last one. So that means things should be pretty darn fresh in everyone's minds.
Jeff, don't break the fourth wall like that. Why would you do that?
What do people remember from last episode? That happened literally minutes ago.
The only thing I remember is that there were radioactive barrels.
Oh, I love it.
Captain Dusty Smokey.
Dusty Subtle Smokey. Or
no
something.
one's allowed to have that name.
Actually, yeah. That happened like 30 minutes ago, and I'm still not 100% on his middle name. Is it Subtle or Subtlety?
We have to go back.
We could have checked, and
I'll have to check. I think I said Subtlety is my middle name.
Don't lock in anything, though, because if we're wrong, the fan will mock us.
Yeah.
If anyone listening is going to a whiskey tasting, just remember his name. Dusty, subtle, smoky, delicious. And be like, wow, this man knows his whiskey.
Connoisseur.
Oh, God. Yeah, so anyway, we were on a boat for a lot of it.
Yeah.
We kind of just peeled out. We did some driving for a while, mostly in silence. We set a lot of things on fire, which was cool. And then we got on a boat.
Yeah.
And then we got off a boat.
Yeah.
And then Nona and Alex had some like existential discussions in the middle of the night that I pictured in my head as just being glorious and amazing. He's on a boulder. I'm standing next to the boulder awkwardly. The only light is the stars and the smoke from his still smoldering cigarette.
That he stamped. Alex hurt his ankle doing it. He tried to keep a straight face, but there was a slight limp.
It was really just a night for vibing.
Yeah.
It was good. I liked it.
Micah was able to share the important information that she learned from Glazov 5 about the Xe'thra Group.
Yep.
And has some ideas as to what exactly not a full understanding of what's going on there, but at least more than what was previously known.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know if I have a full way forward without Vaughn around, but at least the rest of the team knows.
Additionally, very importantly, Captain Dusty Smokey is Freya's mom's ex-boyfriend, which is now
okay. Is that canon?
That's
okay.
canon.
Fantastic.
I want that to be canon.
I was really hoping for that. She was going through a rough period, and he was just so enthusiastic about radiation barrels and just life.
Listen, don't get me started about Freya's family, all right? It's not a pretty picture.
Do not talk bad about...
We've cut quickly into character, just like in the dining table, like over pancakes. And Micah has like a fork for it. It's like, do not talk bad. Waving the pancakes and butter.
Listen here.
As a pancake goes flying across the room.
Kill you.
Yep, that about sums up our group.
Yeah, you guys were able to get out of breeze. You were able to finally take a deep breath out.
For those that need it.
For those that need it, obviously, getting out of breeze, getting out of immediate, dear Lord, someone's going to find us and capture us and do very mean things to us. And that was both the Silence Operatives and Cyril Sharpclaws.
Yeah, we did very mean things to one of them. So
he deserved it.
I hope we've built up a rep now.
bear.
We
I
gotta
hope we're
get
a
the fuck
gang.
out of this planet.
This is the thing I'm hoping for is I hope we have a rep. I hope he's just kind of like,
Tunnel snakes rule.
yeah, basically.
Yeah, having our tag be flames feels a little too generic. We've got to work on it.
It
Yeah,
matches your
Nona
ship.
is not good at subtlety. There is one.
That's what
We
you need
playing
Captain
flames on
Dusty Smoky
stuff.
for.
Yeah,
It's true. That's his
he
middle
can get us a
name.
brand.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like that we set everything on fire on our way out. It felt very us.
Oh no, definitely. I dig it. But like, what are the kids gonna paint on the walls? You know,
There will be no walls. There was nothing.
stone walls that you can't burn.
Well, they ride in the ash.
Also, a thing I need to share before I just start casually referring to us as this, I have off air, maybe on air, I don't remember, decided that our canonical group name is the Phoenix Pham. And
I
I'm
think this
running
was
with
off
that.
air. I haven't
I
heard
believe
this
this was off
before.
air between you two.
Alex has never heard
specifically. I've
this
never heard
before.
that
I
either.
have been referring to us as the Phoenix Pham, and I love it. And if you try and take it away from me, I may set you on fire.
I won't. But
That's Nona's thing now.
Yes, she's into it. Chaos. Haha.
by all means, insist.
Yes.
And
You know, every group needs a group name, is
oh,
all I'm saying.
it's
And
very
it's
important, yeah.
alliterative and all of that good jazz.
One other thing that happened that really doesn't really affect anyone except Alex directly, which may have led into the conversation, is Kainan came up to you directly and said, look, we remember each other. War's hell. Let's fucking never talk about it again, but perhaps maybe say something to your other people because they're going to want to hear it from you, not from something else.
And then they hooked up and kind of on it.
They made out, and it was
It
hot.
was great.
Oh.
Speaking as an outsider there, that was awesome scene. Good job, everyone.
But for the Kainan scene?
Yeah.
Oh,
like, honestly,
thank you.
like everything that happened on the boat and immediately after the boat was real cool. And
Our
I'm very proud
podcast
of
is
us.
good, all right?
Yeah, damn straight.
Giving ourselves some
Clap on the back for everyone. Let's
clap
go.
on the back.
Clap on the back to other people. I wasn't a part of the Kainan team, but I'm like, ooh, as an audience member, I'm invested now. What happened to
Jeff,
someone tell me?
This
Yeah.
script is great.
I love it. So yeah, you guys, we left off where you people were starting to wake up on your first morning, and you guys woke up, maybe had some breakfast.
Somebody made pancakes.
Yeah, somebody had to make pancakes because that's what you need after like a long ass day, right? You need
Alex
some
can
pancakes
make
and waffles.
pancakes. Alex
Nona is
is
going to learn to make pancakes, and this is going to be the only breakfast food she knows how to make from here on out.
this is the only
pancakes.
breakfast food I know how to make. I can
Perfect.
maybe do scrambled eggs every once in a while.
And Claire has never had pancakes before, so she is just wide-eyed, like, "What is this?
Fantastic.
Why are we having dessert for breakfast?"
No, it's in a pan, so it's breakfast.
I see.
Pancakes different
Yeah,
from normal
they actually
cakes.
don't have pancakes on Orisiame. You might not have known that. I only learned about these when I went off world.
You have to import the pancakes from other
You
planets.
gotta what is it, Bisquick?
Yeah.
Because we didn't make the fancy ones. We just did the water and the powder.
Oh, yeah,
But they
yeah,
were
yeah.
glorious and magical to anybody who had never experienced them before.
All right, and you guys are ready for your day. I don't know, Micah, what you would have had planned with the rest of your guys. Right now, it was just sort of like, let's get out, let's get settled. I don't think there were any plans other than like, all right, now we're going to hang out here. I think I did mention Isis reached out to another acolyte or two to try and touch base with them, primarily now that Vaughn is gone. They need to have an understanding of what's going on and what the next steps are. And so that person or people are coming.
Yeah.
But other than that, nothing.
Yeah, the only other plan we had cooking was how to go back and get our ship.
Yes, I have two thoughts about this, but I would like to know more about the surrounding sort of area around, because I don't want to, if we somehow manage to get back and get a ship and then we immediately fly it to Lynn's mansion plus cottages scattered throughout the glorious cliff sides, people are going to notice that, and that's going to be a bit much.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is I could land it about a mile away, just somewhere randomly, and then just walk back.
The thing is, it's not really walkable terrain, right? Because it is mountain or river.
Yeah, no. I'm not even talking about walking back to get it. It's just if we get it back, is there somewhere we can put it where it's not immediately like a giant neon arrow saying this is where the people who flew this ship are, and have them be correct?
So let me just make sure I'm parsing this correctly. You are afraid to land the Starship directly in the estate itself.
That is correct.
Because it draws attention to
because it draws attention. So you would be aware in conversations with people that this is a very remote place.
So they don't particularly care.
They wouldn't, unless someone was actively looking at this around this area right now, they wouldn't really notice a Starship coming and going.
Okay, that's fair.
And
so
also,
we have an end point. I'm working the plan backwards, basically.
And I can definitely come with Nona. If we want to park it a little further away, I think that makes sense, and I can help us on the walk back.
I'm sorry, why are we bringing the Starship here?
Well, we're not going to leave it back there. What would you do with it?
If we get it, are we staying on the planet? What's left? We got Claire back. We fucked over the bear. What are we here for?
I am not sure. I have been operating under the assumption that we have a certain amount of resources. Many of these resources are vehicles. Thanks to me, I have bought many vehicles. But more importantly, it is generally better to have those resources on hand than to have them elsewhere. And so, in my mind, the Phoenix right now is elsewhere, and I would like it to be more accessible to us for whatever we decide to do later. We can stay here, we can go elsewhere, we can do whatever, but I think in order to make that decision, it would be best for us to have the Phoenix closer on hand.
Right.
And listen, I've got to stay on planet until we can figure out how to bust Vaughn out. That's still something that...
There's another jailbreak you're going to...
I mean, that's always been the plan since we got here, basically. At least as far as I'm concerned.
I don't remember the second jailbreak.
We haven't really talked about it because that was kind of a second stage after we got out my other friends. But
honestly, all things considered, the previous one went pretty well. And
that was perfect. That was designed. And not by me. But by the people on the other side of the prison. They, I just before Claire was gone, she can talk about this. We overheard some silence operatives talking about the operation, how it had happened, how they had been extracted. It was a trap and he pointed Micah, for you and for everybody else for the last couple of splinters of Vaughn's operation. We got away with this one, but if they laid a trap for the first one, then they're expecting perhaps another operation for Vaughn, and certainly have him on the tighter security than the other three were.
This is fair. This seems like a suboptimal trap. I don't know much about traps, but in general, if somebody enters a trap, gets the thing that they want, and then leaves alive, that doesn't seem to be a great trap.
Well, imagine a hunter who sets up a little splint or whatever for a rabbit. The first rabbit goes in, grabs the carrot, and jumps out before the splint, the rope ties around the rabbit's ankle, right? So the hunter next time sets a better trap, puts 2 splints, does better, increases security. A rabbit comes along thinking he can do it again.
And we are the rabbit in this metaphor,
We are
correct?
the rabbit, yeah, and Vaughn is the carrot.
We also heard that they did it because they were having trouble capturing Zuri because they teleport, right?
Yeah.
So they wanted to tire the teleporter out with still having the rest of the group under some medication, and they figured it was going to be easy once they got Zuri to expend all of their energy.
So the goal was to expend resources that we had on hand. And then after all those resources were spent,
clean up.
But it is my understanding. Is Zuri here currently? Sorry.
No, Zuri,
just
Isis,
the
Freya, and Kainan are all in a separate little cottage.
Okay. Is my understanding that Zuri has had a bad experience, but overall they are still in control of their transportational power. So again, I say failure.
I'm not saying it was a good trap. It was definitely a trap.
Yeah, that's fair.
They tried. They got cocky. They thought they could best us.
So
Could
why
we
would we make
them?
that same mistake?
Could we make them get cocky again?
Look, obviously they
Lure
have Vaughn in
into
higher
that.
security. Like we know that. That's why we needed everyone here to come up with a better plan. Now we've got more resources, more people.
Plus, the
Vaughn's
chemist can
important. We
make
have to get
flame.
him out. That's like non-negotiable for me.
Why?
He runs our whole cell. Vaughn always knows what to do. Like,
Objectively?
He's a precog, so yeah.
Dude,
I say yeah.
let this happen in universe.
Actually,
Yes.
well, first of all, he's a
Sorry.
precognitive.
So he
he's
knows
a
what's
Leo.
going on. Well, then, if he's such a good precog, how the fuck did he get himself captured?
he's a double Leo with a Capricorn moon.
Maybe
Like
those
he,
are the
Oh
questions.
shit!
There was some frick fracking letter that you know the word on and we don't know what it is. If you read that-
language. We have
I'm sorry.
He said frick fracking.
language.
Excuse my French.
In
Excuse my
Cassian,
Orsinian.
that's not okay.
Oof.
Claire, have some more pancakes.
Thank you. They're very delicious. And a lot of sugar.
She's having a great time.
Maple syrup. Space maple syrup.
Okay,
Love
so
it. Okay, so anyway,
Yeah,
Vaughn
so look,
McRaven exists.
I'm
we need to.
not leaving here
bust
until we get him.
out because
Yeah.
he is the leader extraordinaire.
Yes,
Precogs are good.
definitely. And he'll know what to do. He'll know the best way to tackle the rest of my mission. Yeah.
What is the rest of your mission?
Well, basically, what I was supposed to do is go and fuck up this supply line, which is
Language.
apparently frick frack up this supply line.
not better.
In different languages.
Alex
better
takes
substitute.
2 pancakes and puts them over
On Claire's ears.
Shut the fuck up.
What am I, an idiot sandwich? This thing with the Xe'thra Group selling these, like this pre-tech weapon or whatever it is to the Children of the Silence, and they're using this kind of tech presumably to mow down our side of the war. So I'm supposed to get intel about that and stop them, basically. We have some intel now on where that is happening, but Vaughn's always got the best plans. So for the short term, he'll know the best way to tackle that. And in the long term, he's just like, he knows everything. He's the boss. And he's part of our family, and we've got to get him back.
I can understand these feelings.
If we can understand them, then the silence will understand them as well. So whatever you're about to do, just know that they'll be ready for it. If they decided that 3 objectively cronies of Vaughn were important enough to risk lives and put the entire group at risk, then the big boss is certainly worth more than that.
We need surprise resources.
Okay.
We need moon
Okay.
person.
What? Right. I'm
Wait, who?
sorry. I was very confused when you explained it because I did not get much more than moon person.
That's just roughly about what I have. But anyway, in character.
Are you talking about that one, like, you said you saw someone when we were, like, driving?
So, do you remember the time when a giant I-beam crashed into the one car that I totally had covered and I was totally going to drive away from and it was going to be fine, but it got murdered anyway?
Yeah. Yeah, that was like pretty sudden. I remember that.
Yes, that was thrown by a telepath.
A telepath?
Telekinetic, sorry.
Telekinetic. Oh, like me.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Was it you?
No, but if it's
there
a telekinetic,
are not many things I know in this world. I know that Moon Person is not Micah.
I can guarantee stealing my shtick.
They are stealing it. They did. They stole your stick. They took a bigger I-beam, bigger than the one that you use, and they threw it into a person.
Well, we have beef now. You want to find this person, work with this person.
Micah, let's not let size issues get in the way of your mission.
No, listen, this is important, Alex.
Yeah, so the problem here is like Kirsten is thinking that like maybe Micah is a little bit struggling here because on one hand, this person is clearly stronger and better than you. But on the other hand, they're a psychic, a telepath, whatever you want to call them, or telekinetic.
It's telekinetic,
my bad. And
so
you like those in general because of space racism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So look,
spaces.
I'll take a step back. All right. Listen, if they're on Orsiame, it seemed like they helped us out. They're a psychic. They're probably sympathetic to our cause. I guess we could talk to them. If you could track them down. Yeah. But I mean, you have this idea, but how do you find the Moon Person?
I have two thoughts.
Who is Tuxedo Mask?
We're not. We all know who Tuxedo Mask is. It's not subtle. But anyway, the thought is literally like this thought occurs to Nona because again, very much in chaos mode, and it's what resources do we have? And somebody helping Nona seems like a resource. No idea how to get in contact with, no idea even what to do. So we've got two ideas. Idea one. Mm-hmm. We get ourselves into trouble again and see what happens. Maximum chaos.
Delightful.
Or we return to the scene of the crime. We go back to where the original occurrence happened and then make a bunch of noise and hope they show up there.
The place that you, just to be clear, escaped from.
The place we just fled from.
Literally just escaped from. So these are our two options. Both of them are bad, and they're both bad in different ways. But they are also maximum chaos, which Nona seems to be apparently trending towards now.
So appreciating a probably valuable resource, begrudgingly, that you've pointed out in this person who seemed to help us. You have no idea who they are. No, I don't think I've ever heard of someone who fits this particular profiled against the moon. I
would give an outline. Yeah, roll for it.
Because my first thought was I'm going to ask my team and maybe ask for a connect check or something, but I'll just see if I've heard of them initially.
Roll a this is probably like an intelligence no check or something.
Okay. That's a 7. Or wait, it's a 6.
Okay. Yeah, this description, it sounds like a telekinetic. It sounds stronger than a telekinetic that you normally would. That's a pretty strong telekinetic that can just toss an I-beam like that fast.
Yeah, because I saw how fast it flew in. It's definitely much more than I can do.
Yes.
Or normal telekinetic stuff is slower for sure.
But you haven't heard of, there are some people within the Acolytes that have very strong psychic abilities, telekinesis and stuff like that. You haven't heard of this specific one. I will say, and all of you would maybe remember this to some extent, there was a newsreel a while back about an attack on a Acolyte cell in the city of Ventios, which is on Orisiame, which they were trying to get a lieutenant there of the Acolytes that basically wiped out an entire street with their powers. That's something that seems like the two maybe match up, so you get a little bit of a connection there, but you don't know this person's name or their rank or who exactly they are.
All right. Yeah, I might try and run it by some of my other cellmates or ask around on the Acolyte dark web forums.
Hell yeah. I know this. Kirsten knows that this is probably not going to turn up anything, but given that the conclusion is that this person is stronger than they maybe should have been, I would like to ask Claire about it specifically. Like, hey, you in your camp, do you remember anybody who like had particularly strong telekinetic powers specifically?
No, I don't think so. I don't want to like pat myself on the back, but I was kind of the major focus of the children's investigation. There wasn't anyone else who like maybe was like Tony that had this strange powers or anything like that. It was really only me.
Interesting.
So we have a powerful telekinetic and Dorian Gray, a powerful telepath.
I'm sorry. Why is Dorian Gray a telepath?
Or like a meta scion or something. Because he's fun. Because he has the taboo on the word that we don't know.
There's something weird there.
Yeah, there is a connection between them and a word, but you don't necessarily know that they are.
I guess Dorian Gray doesn't have to be the telepath.
Yeah. I would call out though that if somebody exists in a world of psychics and like you encounter some fuckery, you're like, this person right here. That's a psychic of some sort.
That's completely fair. I just wanted to like level and make sure you guys are aware that, as far as you know, Dorian Gray is not a psychic.
That's
okay, fair.
Sure.
In fact, you don't really know anything more about Dorian Gray other than the fact they left this note for Vaughn.
Oh, here's the thing. It's been a while. I would like to randomly say the word out loud.
To the people in the room?
Yep. Every single person in the room.
So Nona just takes like a quick scoot back from the table and just says gibberish into the air. And everyone's like, yep, that's still gibberish.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Occasionally just need to sound off, make sure people are still hearing that.
Because there's actually some valid things here because Zuri, they didn't used to be able to hear it. And so there was a scientific theory running that it was a time-based thing.
Yep.
And now, given that we've had a whole boat ride since the thing, I think, do my timelines match up? It's probably not time-based. How long has it been since Zuri first encountered it?
But also, Zuri experienced at the same time that the other members of the group encountered
which was
it.
how long?
It would probably been a couple of days ago.
Oh, okay. So it's just been a very long single day.
The note came. Vaughn was still there. Just to remind people, note came. Everyone was like, "This is weird. I don't trust this." And then Vaughn had some vision that he was going to meet with a Cassian general and break the whole Civil War open. Left to go effectively do that, and then he got captured during the assassination attempt, alleged assassination attempt. And then all of this other stuff happened. So this was a couple of days ago.
Okay. So it's been a while.
It's been a while. But
also, really fast, I do want to call out that the first time I said it, Zuri couldn't hear it.
That is correct. Yep.
I think that if it's anything, have we shown it to any non-psychic? Every time I think about it, everybody we've tried to say it around has been psychic, and the only time Zoe was able to understand was after he had toys.
Great point. I'm going to show it to Lynn.
Did say it once to Cyril.
That's true. I did say it to Cyril. I was like, "Hey, by the way, you know what this means?" He's like, "Don't worry about it."
And then Mike was like, "Please don't poke the bear."
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so we know Orson and psychics cannot hear the word.
Okay. Are we just hanging out in our own little kind of breakfast situation? Is that where we are at present? Okay. So, whenever I get the opportunity, I'm going to do that investigating into our mysterious moon person.
How are you going about doing that?
So, so the ideas I had were to talk with my other cellmates when we connect with them in person, and then also look around the interweb.
Yeah, so a lot of the conversation that happens between cells is not really, there's no paper trail. It's people knowing each other and passing information like that. So you wouldn't be able to search on the interwebs specifically. You'd be able to search like news stories similar to the one that happened in Ventios.
You could also like maybe put a post out there. It was like, person seeking person, we met at a construction site.
So
you took my breath away.
You took someone else's breath away even more.
Someone else's breath away even
with
more.
With an I-beam.
Call me. No. With an I-beam is too much. You want to leave it subtle.
Yeah. So look, because kind of the way that I got into the Acolytes at all was through one of these kind of dark web forums where people were talking about these. I don't know how.
Yeah.
You know how dark web works.
Yeah.
But no. So essentially, I would like to go onto one of those and put out a question, kind of publicly.
Troll the boards, like, oh, have you guys heard about this guy? And stuff like
it's
that,
like
trying to get information.
Yeah, this is a person I'm trying to connect with. Yeah,
sure. You can do that. You don't immediately get any replies. It takes a little while for that conversation to go back and forth. So you started out.
They're like, I've got video of this dude, and it's just
it's fucking Bigfoot.
Yeah, so you aren't able to immediately get anything from the little forum that you go on to, because obviously you went onto the forum to talk about like these sort of psychic sympathies, and then things moved into like the DMs to talk more about like the more covert stuff.
Yeah,
but you're definitely trolling to like, have people heard about this? And over the course of breakfast, you would have gotten a couple of replies like, oh yeah, that's some sort of lieutenant in the Acolytes. Like I heard he was last in Ventios, and there was an attack on his particular cell and stuff like that. Nothing really more than just vague generalities, though. He seems to be someone high up in the ranks of the Acolytes.
But like in that kind of news segment that we saw. So maybe that's the same person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else that is happening just between the four of you guys before you like probably meet up with the rest of Micah, your cell, to discuss what the next steps are? Because obviously you guys need to figure out what you want as the next steps.
I have a very absurd plan.
Oh, please enlighten me.
Oh yeah, if people are deciding to hang around here, Nona is gonna go straight up get a piece of driftwood and just fucking row back.
There's no wood.
Right. My bad. Floatable material. If there's literally like, I'll get sea turtles, strap them to my feet like roller skates. I don't like even care. Like floatable stuff.
You're trying to make a boat?
I'm trying to go back upriver to literally end up where we were, climb out. Like I'm doing the like Terminator.
Are you acting on this at all that we could notice?
No. This is my background plan. If somebody else comes up with a plan and is like, no, we need you to do this stuff. But if people are like, we're going to spend a nice Sunday afternoon at this estate, then she's going to go do that.
I'll be honest. I don't think there are a lot of materials around for you to sort of use to put together a boat.
Okay,
Micah
so
and
now
Alex are gonna walk out and see Nona just like tying frogs together. Be like,
one at a time.
Nona.
I want to be clear. Like when I say there's no native biosphere, this includes plants and animals. Like the only things really living here are humans off of like synthetic diets and stuff like that.
Okay.
Anything living or organic needs to be imported to this planet.
So here's the other question.
Mm-hmm.
How does Nona and water interact? Because she's heavier than other things. I think we've established.
Yes.
Like, what is the buoyancy here?
I think if she tried, she could swim, but normally she sinks.
And is that a problem?
For Nona? Oh,
yes.
No, that's not a problem.
So can she Pirates of the Caribbean her way up?
Like
this
walk
river?
on
like
the bottom?
straight up, just
Yeah.
straight
You have
up.
to
Like
hold
it
the
would
canoe
take
over your head.
That would take
a
a
really
very long
long
time.
time. But see,
'Cause-
here's the thing: is like I'm playing
You can
a character.
walk on the bottom of the river.
I'm playing a character who like she doesn't really get bored. She just does stuff, right? So like if there's not anything better to be used for her time, like if people are like, we're gonna sleep, and I'm like, this will take me roughly 10 hours to do. She will 100% just like whoop
I'll allow it. Yeah.
into the river, sink like a stone, and just walk.
So we have another option.
So Nona is sitting there like a stack of pancakes in front of her, and this is just playing behind her eyes, like just like this.
She came to this conclusion in like half of a second.
Yeah.
Maybe like several microseconds.
I guess if you're not voicing that, I'm not going to voice my counter thought.
No. It's just a plan. We should get that back. This is, again, sort of a tertiary goal. There are other goals on the table, and I'm committed to the success of the group. So if people are actively going to do stuff, cool. But if they're not, Nona's going to go back and get the ship.
No, so look, I think that also getting the ship is an important thing. That's like a really valuable resource for us to have. And also, it's like ours. We put flames on it. It's cool, and we want it back.
We're emotionally attached to it now.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm all for putting together a plan to get it back. So I mean, I will voice that if you want to put forward your thoughts at that time.
Combine these two things. Yes, I will literally at the breakfast table. I would say we should get the ship back.
All right, yeah, because it's gonna be hard for all or most of us to like get back to Breeze. I can like run over the water, maybe. Like it's not gonna be a quick trip, but that's something that I would be able to do.
I would like to say there was a dock when you guys came in. There are boats here if you want to borrow.
Oh, they do have boats
from the Calvin estate. Yeah,
that's fair.
Oh, we don't have to walk in our different ways.
I like the walking plan though.
They have boats. You don't have to create your own one.
Oh, I really like the walking plan.
Are those made out of wood?
No, they're metal.
They're metal. Fair enough.
Aluminum.
Yeah. And physics. Wow.
Yeah.
Buoyancy.
Yep. Okay, cool. So their boats exist. That's fine. I still like Stealth Nona under the water. I'm not going to lie, but I'm not 100% sure we could drag her.
We parked legally, right? Like we went into the proper channels and showed our fake IDs. And if you show, I feel like you can just kind of go up and be like, hi, we're getting our ship back. And they'll be like, okay.
Yes, we just need to get back there.
Alex,
that is the only thought, is we need to get back to that location. There's nothing about necessarily stealth needing to occur, but sometimes stealth is better.
I'm a little surprised that you're so optimistic about that, Alex, because they could probably narrow down that was our ship, but maybe not like immediately.
That's a different problem.
Soon.
No, that's a very different problem as opposed to let's swim there.
Walking, not swimming.
Let's climb up the cliff and
walking
in both cases,
different ways.
Walking.
Also walk up the cliff. Yeah,
I'm fully expecting that Cyril, if realizing that Claire's gone and that half of his compound has burned down, is encircling the ship. I'm sure that if the Silence has pegged the fact that, Micah, you came in on that ship, not only is Cyril looking at the ship, but the Silence is also looking at the ship. It's all fucked, but not so fucked that I'm going to swim up the river to, and just be like, okay, that's my thoughts. I'm considering a couple different problems, I think.
Mm-hmm. So we can probably just sail back on what, like, these are okay. So what kind of ships are we talking? Are these
rowing
they're
as opposed to sail?
Like rowboats, sailboats, motorized
motorboats.
Okay.
Hooray for the future! God bless
Here we are in the future.
Space America. Sure.
So you guys are having this discussion back and forth about maybe some general ideas about whether or not you can
just again resources are good.
Yeah. You're trying to figure out like, okay, what do we have? What do we need to do in order to get back to the ship? And all
but the thing I wanted to call out, this would actually combine two of the things, is if we go back to sort of this capital area, we could both get the ship and attempt something that would get Moon Person's attention. This was my original thought, was kind of two birds, one stone.
Okay.
was
go
that
on.
we could go back there and then also do something. And I'm not 100% sure.
So that sounds, you're thinking something big to get their attention.
I'm not sure. So what we know is that they showed up when something very large happened and they were on our side, and they rescued us when we appeared to need help. We could appear to need help again
And just hope they show up.
and just hope they show up.
I think I'd rather bet on the shore thing. If
We could go
if
back
we
to
can,
the same location.
if we can get just like one task at a time, get our ship, try and be kind of sneaky about it, not draw a lot of attention, then we can hopefully have our ship instead of causing a scene when we don't need to, you know?
This is fair. I shall reflect on this.
So as you guys are continuing to discuss this and how you might be able to contact Mr. Moonman.
Excuse you, moon person.
Oh, yeah,
I've
that's fair.
specifically left it
Moon
gender
person.
neutral.
Moon person.
Did the news clipping specify gender of
No,
who
it
this
did not.
person? All right.
Moonman.
Moon person.
Moonman.
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 It's not Moonman.
There's
Moonman.
a knock on your door. Isis is outside.
Oh, no.
Oh, shit.
Oh God, it's
I'm sorry. I had to.
Why did you pick this name, Philip?
it's a fucking. They don't own that name, all right.
Yes, that's fair. Isis knocks on your door.
Hello, ISIS. What's up?
Do you want some pancakes, Isis?
We've got extra.
I'm sorry. We're already part of one terrorist cell. Another is just too much
Oh,
for us.
boy.
We cannot handle.
All right. I was skipping right over that. All of that.
I like Egyptian mythology, all right?
No,
Sue me.
sue me.
It's all right. It's all right. Let's keep moving. She knocks on your door and says, hey, so we got a couple of people from the Acolytes coming today. We're going to discuss a little bit more about what we want to do about the Vaughn situation and the Xe'thra Group situation. You guys good to start talking about all of that?
Yeah, definitely good to set up a plan. We were just talking about how to get our ship back, because I think that's going to be a pretty big component for us and trying to do what we need to do with that.
That's fair. Yeah. The people that we're contacting are coming in on a chartered grab flyer that's actually going back to Breeze. If you want to drop, get a couple people with you. Obviously, maybe perhaps not yourself or myself, but perhaps. And she looks at Nona and Alex. The less
I'm unassuming.
the less notorious people on as a part of your crew, we can drop them off and have you guys fly back.
You don't want me to Pirates of the
fair.
Caribbean, huh, Jeff? You're not gonna let me.
You
have it.
understand that,
It'll
like
take
it was
days.
like an
It will
hour
literally
boat
take
ride.
days. Yes.
Yeah, we had some interesting ideas on how to maybe go back and get the ship, but you know what? That actually sounds pretty good. That's fair.
Thank you for this, but also F you.
How dare you
I was
not
gonna
let us walk under or over
And
water?
then climb a cliff face. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Very doable, honestly.
And she says, "Yeah, they should be arriving in a couple minutes or so. So if you want to come out and maybe meet them when they land, that'd be great."
More NPCs,
Yeah.
you say?
More NPCs.
All right, yeah, we'll definitely be there.
Cool. So you got any more conversing about any of the plans and the various Pirates of the Caribbean cliches?
References we want to throw there. It's
Yeah.
not a cliche if
Sorry.
they've only done it once.
Reference. Yeah, that's very true. Well, they walked on the ground multiple times in the first one.
That's fair, but it was
One
really
was
cool.
one was with the zombies and the other one was with the boat.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
Anyway, moving on.
So,
I
yeah.
love pirates.
Thank you for coming back to our Pirates of the Caribbean fan podcast.
We didn't become pirates. I'm honestly shocked. I thought we were about to launch out onto the open sea. I thought we were
Yes,
going to be pirates. So
very
now I'm
elaborate
feeling a hole in my heart. Really.
Pirate fan fiction. that
There's
we've
still an
spun here.
opportunity to become pirates after
Oh,
all of
I'm
this
sure
blows
we
over.
will.
So you guys are done with all of that breakfast conversation, right?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So it's starting to become fairly. It's less super early morning and more just morning. And you go outside and you meet with the rest of Micah's cell, Isis, Freya, Kainon, and Zuri. Got to remember all of those names.
Remember Zuri. You can't forget Zuri. Zuri's the best one.
And they're just milling about. When you first came in, you didn't notice this because it was kind of tucked around the side of the ravine when you first came in. But there's very clearly like a wide open area that is kept clear specifically for perhaps grav flyers or starships to come in and out of this particular estate. And just as Isis said, a few minutes roll by and you see a grav flyer come by. The grav flyers are they're just airships that really can only stay within a planet. They're not able to travel between planets, similar to like a helicopter or an airplane. They can take up vertically. Think of maybe like maybe not as big as the Avengers sort of
Yeah.
The shield, like
the shield.
Excellent. I want one.
Yeah, but they've got like the big rotaries and stuff like that. Yeah, you can maybe eventually get one if you want. You maybe have enough money for it.
Eventually.
What a
Have you seen how much money I've spent? We are not as rich as you think we are at this current point. I bought a car.
And it lands, and you see two people, two figures within this vehicle. The first one steps out of the pilot suite. And I need to pull up an NPC description, which is, you see a tall, athletic woman with a blonde mohawk, dark cyan eyes, and a circuit tattoo on the right side of her face.
Sick.
She has small pyramidal protrusions that dot her skin in a geometric pattern, and she wears a black leather vest over top a skin-tight white shirt and carries a military mag pistol on her right hip. For the people who see details pretty closely, the small pyramidal protrusions seem very similar to another person that you met on Glazov 5, Fu, I forget his last name. Shit, and I don't have his
fine.
In
It's
front of
probably
me.
Bar.
Fukashi, the person who was the boyfriend or romantically with Diane Redford.
Yeah, was he out for most of it? Or was that somebody
he's the
else?
one who got shot.
Yeah,
Right.
and was just there for a while.
Yeah.
He was next to
I
Claire.
helped heal,
So looks like maybe some cyberware or something like that.
Cool.
The second person who steps out is an extremely slender young man, barely in his 20s. He wears large, baggy clothes that seem to be an attempt to hide his thin frame, but his face and tightly worn belt undermine that facade. So it's very clear that he's trying to be more big than he normally is, but he's actually quite a spindly person. On the back of his hands are tattoos that appear to continue up his arms. On one side is a red plus symbol, and the other one is a blue minus symbol.
I hate you.
Love it.
A final tattoo wraps up from behind his shaved head and comes to his forehead and ends in a black circle. Think Aang.
Math
That's
man.
fair. No. He does electricity shit. He a giant battery.
Can
You don't know
you Nona, can you roll a wisdom notice check, please?
Why do you always do this to me? You know I am bad at this. I'm
but
bad at noticing things.
I understand.
Don't rub it in. 9.
This man looks really familiar.
To me?
Yes,
Tony.
to you.
Wow. Well, that narrows it down. What has happened in the past year or two?
Tony.
God damn it.
Oh my God.
This
I
is
hope
not
so,
Tony.
Thank God.
So the it's not necessarily the person themselves, but what they're wearing seems to be very similar to the person that you saw on the construction site that fateful night, as in last night, literally hours before.
Literally hours before. Great.
Moon person.
Ah,
It seems like at least the clothes that they are wearing is similar to Moon person.
fantastic.
The baggy clothes and everything, that was Moon Person.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lol B.
I'm going to walk up to them.
So not only are you walking up to them, but also Isis and the rest of Micah's cell are as well.
Gang.
And do you try and speak first? Or are you
I'm just gonna walk up and say, "Hello, my name's Nona. Who are you?"
Go.
Isis reaches out her hand and says, "Devas, it's nice to see you." And he speaks back, "And you as well." And he looks over at Micah and Nona and gives you guys a solemn nod.
I'm going to look very confused at that.
Shall we go inside? Yes?
I was just saying, hey, yeah, sure, let's go in.
Yes, let's do that and discuss priorities. And so they start moving towards the cottage that the rest of your group was staying in. Do you guys do immediately any questions that you direct at either Devas as he's been introduced, or the woman that accompanies him?
I might, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, if Nona, if you want to ask something, do you?
I do.
All right. Nona, what would you ask?
Nona. Hi. Why do you have weird symbols on your hands?
They are a channel, which I can channel my powers through.
Do psychics normally need that?
No, but it helps.
What kind of psychic are you?
A telekinetic. Thank you.
No, that's rude to ask. Come on, let's just.
Is it?
Yeah, you don't just ask people what kind of psychic they are.
But that seems like incredibly useful information to know. And it's not something you're necessarily ashamed of. So
no, it's not shameful. All right. So in this kind of conversation, normally the psychic will volunteer that, and then we get down to business about how we can help each other. I know you've never really been a part of one of these before, so it's fine, but I just wanted to let you know.
Okay. You ever been to Breeze?
Yes, I actually was just there. I believe I saw you few people in a van. We got word that Vaughn's crew was taken hold, and myself and Ellie tried to enact some sort of plan, but we realized that you guys got everything handled. So
okay, so Nona is going to attempt to subtly, and it is not at all going to be subtle, be like, guys, it's Moon Person. It's going to be very awkward for all involved, and everyone is just going to kind of stare at her for a bit.
He really doesn't seem to pay any
Alex
mind.
nods.
You mean like from breakfast?
Yes, from when we had the pancakes. It's Moon Person.
And so you guys get into the cottage, and I think, Micah, do you feel like your cell would allow people who are outside of the cause, but maybe traveling with you to hear?
Sure. I'm tight with these two, and Claire is basically part of our cell. So yeah, I think we're all good to be there.
Phoenix Pham, unite.
And so Devas, as they've been introduced, sits at the end of the table, and they start a conversation between themselves and Isis. And he starts off by saying, I want to say I knew Vaughn. He was a good person, a good psychic, fought for what was right. We need to get him back, but not at the cost of ourselves. The purpose of this meeting is to discuss the next steps and the different goals that we need to achieve in order to achieve our greater goals. Mike, I heard that you have gained some information about the Xe'thra Group specifically.
Yeah. So that's me, Micah, telekinetic. And yeah, so from my kind of exploration and asking around, it looks like the Xe'thra Group is funneling some resources towards the kids, the children, I guess, of the Silence, for some kind of pre-tech weaponry, and they're working out of this asteroid belt in the Penipaula system near the planet Polo.
The Polo.
What?
The Polo. THEPOLO.
The Polo. Okay.
The Polo.
All right.
Sorry.
My bad.
It's not preppy dude's shirt.
It's not
it's
the
one
Polo.
word.
It's
okay.
one word. The Polo.
All right. Good to know. The Polo. I will write that down. Yeah. So near there, and they've got some kind of mining situation set up there. Yeah, that's what I've got so far. And obviously, that's a problem and needs to be dealt with. You all are from a different cell, of course, but have an interest in this. So I guess given that you're here, what do you think?
The information that we have is could be useful. So as we understand it, a person by the name of Dorian Gray reached out to Vaughn and convened the meeting between himself and General Kane. We believe that Dorian Gray was not only there at the meeting, but also got General Kane to be there as well. We additionally believe that the information that was going to be passed and shared between General Kane and Dorian Gray and Vaughn McRaven was about Dorian worked a job specifically for the Xe'thra Group right before. There was perhaps some information that they had that was pertinent to both the Cassian military as well as our own purposes. As to what this information is, we're not sure. Dorian Gray, are you familiar with the name, any of you?
Have I run into that name before?
Can I roll for it?
In Orsiame politics?
You guys would have had the opportunity to roll. You wouldn't have known this person.
No? Okay.
No one really seems to perk up at this name. And Devas continues.
Really fast, can I be incredibly interruptive?
Yep.
And just say the word again? I'm sorry. I know, but there's new people in the room and I need to experiment. Nuna's scientific spirit.
So basically, he asks if anyone...
A question, and I just say something in response because I have an opening.
Don't you hate when your friend just screeches?
Yeah. So everyone at the table is like, what was that, Nona? Zuri appears to have some recognition, and Devas does as well. And he speaks up and says, where did you hear that word?
I didn't hear it. I read it off a piece of paper, and nobody else seems to be able to comprehend it, and it is very irritating.
I'm looking rapidly back and forth between Nona and Devos.
Mm-hmm.
Considering the lack of recognition from the rest of the people at the table, I give it, you are not practicing members of the Acolytes, are you? And so to pull myself back a little bit to provide context for what Micah would definitely have, and Alex maybe to some extent. So as we discussed before, there are multiple cells within the Acolytes of the End. Nice. Each having slightly different goals, generally working towards the same one. The movement itself, the Acolytes of the End, are actually a sect of religious psychics to some extent. They believe that psychics are something to be celebrated, almost the exact opposite of the Children of the Silence. And rather than the screen being seen something as a horrible event, it was to them
like a myth of creation kind of deal.
To some extent, closer actually to what's the biblical ascension. what happens when
Transubstantiation.
No. The thing at the end of
The resurrection.
Revelations,
Yeah,
when all the
yeah.
non-sinners go, whatever
Like-
that's called.
I don't
The
know.
rapture.
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 Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
Effectively, what they believe is the scream was the rapture. So torching to them is something that brings them closer to sort of this cosmic, like, all which they want to join. Effectively.
Interesting.
And so this is why our particular group, at least as far as Mike understands it, is like sort of there, but we're also a little bit removed from that, right?
Yes. They're
agnostic.
mostly harmless. Obviously, mostly harmless in the fact that when a psychic torches themselves, most of the damage is done to themselves, either physically, which may help you understand why this man in front of you, who should be in the prime of his years, it seems to be practically all skin and bones, or mentally, where and eventually, like, if you torch so much, eventually you die because your constitution can't take it anymore, or you go feral, and which effectively means that those neural pathways that you use for channeling metadimensional energy, which allows you to perform psychic activities, those channels are completely blown through, and you just become I can't think of the right word, like a
Funnel.
a font of metadimensional energy, allowing you to, an insane person, effectively any and all psychic abilities. But they lose themselves in the process. So that's really the only time when they could affect other people, is when they become a feral psychic. But for the most part, they're harmless. They're a little like culty. But you can understand now that he sent this
Terrorists?
that
The cults.
I mean, these things happen. Listen,
Was
it's
any
for the
of
greater
this
good.
explained to Nona?
This was not explained to Nona.
Okay, so
Micah,
it's just
Micah would
not a
definitely know this.
practicing thing.
Alex
Got
might
it.
have an understanding of what the Acolytes of the End, or at least practicing members of the Acolytes of the End, would do.
Like, some of them get a little bit wacky, but like, listen, it's all for a good cause, you know.
Yeah.
Sorry, are you a practicing member of the Acolytes of the End?
Zuri speaks up and says, no, not. Maybe, like, I don't know. I thought some of their teachings were, I don't know. And goes down at that. And Devas continues. For those of you who are unaware of what we do, is we try and get closer to the font of the energy that flows within all psychics. And he says a word that most people at the table cannot recognize, only Nona and Zuri can, is a being that came from the font itself, was created not of this dimension, but of the other. It is an observer. It watches what we do, but that is all that is really known about it. No one has seen it or really understood it. It's just a myth that's been passed down. As to why you know that word, why?
I don't think that's important right now.
I see. Very well. And he straightens up again at that.
Then you must die.
You have chosen death. He straightens up at that and says, what was the question?
Is McRaven a practicing member of your faith?
Not to our knowledge. We don't have many.
So why
Micah,
wouldn't
Isis, would you know this?
Yeah. Vaughn is, our leader, but he's not a practicing member of that particular kind of religious movement. No.
So why would a note sent to him have a word on it that he himself could not read?
Perhaps to pique his curiosity.
Mm.
So, it appears there's been some convening around the assassination attempt that perhaps there's information that we don't know. We have multiple avenues which we can go by. We can investigate what happened in Korstia. seek out Dorian Gray and see what they know. Additionally, we could send an attachment to where the Xe'thra Group is performing their mining operations. Perhaps snoop on them or destroy them entirely in order to affect the Children of the Silence. I do have additional information. As many of you would probably be aware, Chancellor Austere is stepping down at the end of the year and selecting the new Chancellor. Taking another step back. Because this one is just all exposition. This man is Mr. Exposition right now. This hasn't been said on the podcast, but how the Chancellor of Orisiame is effectively a despot. They're the person who controls everything. And they're selected every 50 years. They're selected at the age of 25, and they go to the age of 75, which they then select their predecessor, which comes from a particular academy in Principa, the capital of Orisiame. And they specifically select from a group of few 25-year-olds to be the next chancellor. And when you become the chancellor, you're effectively, all of your individuality is removed. You no longer have a gender, a name, a family, a background. You are just that person. A little bit culty.
Okay.
We're all cults here. So the people who are familiar with Orisimian politics would understand that Chancellor Austere, the current chancellor, is coming to nearing the end of their reign and would be selecting another one.
But also,
yeah, what's up?
Just outside Kirsten commentary, it seems like, I actually don't know if this was mentioned or not. It seems like maybe there's some individuality still left in the person. Like they don't literally become, I am a beacon for the, say, hypothetically, Space Cthulhu exists out there and is trying to channel themselves into this. This is not that sort of situation. It's very much a symbolic, I no longer have a thing, but clearly they still have a thing.
I live now for Orisiame.
Gotcha.
Not so much like my choices are not of my own. So Devas would continue and say, we have reason to believe that Chancellor Austere has plans for Vaughn and perhaps a couple of other psychics in their possession as some form of celebration before the end of their reign. We don't believe any harm will come to Vaughn before this time, as he is a part of the celebrations, but as to what happens after the celebrations or during, we do not know.
He's supposed to be a part of it? What do you mean?
It could mean a various number of things. It could be a public execution, is what we're worried about. As we're all well aware, under Chancellor Austere, psychic oppression has gone up quite a bit. The Civil War itself broke out, has been churning ever since the Scream itself, but has very clearly raged on very specifically during their particular reign, probably due to several of their more aggressive policies around containing and dominating psychics.
Do we know who the inheritor of this is supposed to be?
We do not. It's a group of graduates from an academy in Principa. The next chancellor will be selected from those few. We don't have any background as to who they are, where they come from. Probably some Ostian noblemen, but we will know within about a year's time who the next chancellor will be and how they might treat us as a people. So
one guess.
Yeah.
Maybe two. Be generous.
So I direct the question to the floor. How do we want to go about these multiple avenues. Xe'thra Group needs to be stopped, or at the very least understood what they are doing. We also need to better understand what Dorian Gray may or may not know about the involvement of General Kane as well as Vaughn McRaven. Additionally, we could start looking at Principa and Ostia in general and seeing if there's ways for us to smuggle members of the Acolytes into the continent.
Step 1, we get the ship back.
I'm not aware of a ship, but that seems reasonable. We have a grav flyer that we've chartered.
Yeah, we've got a starship that's in breeze right now, and that we just need a little bit of help in getting out from there, but that shouldn't be too big an issue. I mean, far as I see it, I'm going to look around the rest of our cell, Isis kind of being the de facto leader since Vaughn's not around. It's like, look, we've got to jump Vaughn out of jail first thing first, as far as I'm concerned. I think that's the top priority. Everything else he can help us with.
We do have time to make a plan, though, which I will point out is a rarity for us and might require some consideration. Alex is not wrong in the sense of this is very similar to a thing we've done in the past, and so we are predictable here. It is a weakness. I understand your desire to act here, but we do need to be unpredictable. Perhaps we can set fire to more things.
We can talk about a plan.
Devas also speaks up. I realize that the interruption about and garbled words come out made me not give you information about Dorian Gray. For those of you who are unaware, Dorian Gray, it's fine. I just want to make sure this information's out there.
Sorry.
Dorian Gray is a pseudonym for a line of fixers and spies. There only appears to be one at any given time, but this name has existed since, as far as our records go back, the Scream itself. It appears that this is a line of some form of subterfuge handed down person by person as they change hands. Little is known about who they are, but only the deepest underground criminals know how to call upon them. I myself do not know exactly how to call upon this person. We'd have to reach out to a criminal, to say the least, about how to employ this person or to get them to see us. But it's very possible that they've already changed hands, and the new Dorian Gray is not the one that was the one that convened the meeting in the first place.
What happened to the old one?
We're not aware of what happens with the old ones or where the new ones come from.
And you're certain this is a title that passes down?
Well, there would be no other reason to suspect otherwise. The nature of this person, they changed so much so that technology wouldn't be able to convert one person to the next. And it's outside the realm of possibility that a psychic would be able to do something like this.
Nona is now imagining how she would go about doing more or less this exact thing from her, experience with the whole Scream onwards. But anyway, robots. It's always robots. Damn it.
I will leave you all to discuss this information then. I have some affairs to try and take care of with Ellie. Let us know of what your plans are. Additionally, if you need to contact me, my compad number is here. ...
Hooray!
555.
Wait, can I?
A plus and a minus.
Oh wait, I should role play this.
Mm-hmm.
Could I see your combat for a moment? Could I put an app on it?
Angry Birds.
I'm sorry. Who are you exactly?
I am Nona. I'm apparently a part of this group now.
This is Nona. She has been a part of our traveling group for a while. She is not a psychic. I would say she is trustworthy, I believe.
I'm sorry. You said she's not a psychic?
That is correct.
Nona is going to do a like very obvious, very bad attempt at that she knows of, like shifty eyes kind of thing. It probably fools no one, but
I'm
like,
sorry. Did I say not a psychic? I mean that she is a very well shielded telepath.
You're not very good at this.
I've heard that the Acolytes of the End were...
Make me roll for something
hiring
and do badly.
non-psychic.
We are. It's just interesting that a non-psychic would know that name. Anyway, I must leave you all. I will discuss things with Ellie over here. Let me know what you decide.
So we're gonna have to kill that man.
My God, guys, we have to kill Devas.
And Davis and Ellie leave to go discuss things by their grav flyer. And
Okay, so we're powwowing.
Breakout room.
it does seem like we're powwowing, Isis says. So, which one do you want to take? You guys are the ones with the Starship. But if you really want to investigate what happened on Korstia, I wouldn't stop you.
Which one is easier for you? Or are we not splitting up and going multiple directions?
I figured as that's what we were doing. Well, we can't do both at once. It would be easier for us to investigate what happened on Korstia as we don't have the means to travel to Panipola and snoop on whatever the Xe'thra Group is doing. But we could certainly find our way, perhaps sneak our way into the recruits and do some subterfuge there.
I am inclined to investigate more of this Dorian Gray. They have piqued my interest.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's, the person or entity that Vaughn was meeting up with. We should know more about them.
Yeah.
Although apparently it's a title that passes, so their predecessor is the one that set up the meeting, and now
It's
hard to say.
possible.
okay, we don't know.
That was
Okay,
a few days ago.
What's
it's been days.
We also have a timeline
Days
on
and
Vaughn now. There's like the public thing. When was that going to happen?
At the end of the year,
At the end of the year.
which
Okay.
is months away.
Okay.
Okay.
That's amazing because we can set so many things on fire and kill so many people between now and the end of the year. I just want to take a moment to thank you, Jeff, for the amount of planning time you have given us to just wreak havoc.
You know, I am nothing but a
Benevolent.
GM.
I want
Magnanimous.
Okay, I take it back. You're too sassy now.
I want to talk to this Dorian Gray. That's my preference.
Yeah, I think so. Get our ship, obviously, look into Dorian Gray, and maybe if we can set up a meet, we can figure out what to do with Vaughn next, and maybe jump him out from there.
Yeah.
That tracks. I can see it.
That seems all right, Isis says. In all likelihood, he's going to be in a high security prison until the day itself. We'll obviously need to do some planning, bouncing ideas off of each other until then. But right now, I feel like the best opportunity would be when the celebration or whatever Chancellor Austere is doing right then and there. And also then it would be a statement itself against their reign rather than just something that they can sweep under the rug and say a couple of psychics escaped from a high security prison.
Well, that's a little bit silly, though. You should accomplish your goals that you want to actually accomplish. Any attempts at making statements, if it's going to risk the goal you want to accomplish.
If we could do both at the same time, I don't see why we can't go for it.
So here's
You're
the thing.
not wrong.
You know, Isis, I appreciate some theatrics, but
We could set more things on fire.
if we can clear, all right, I'm gonna have a chat with you later, Nona, about your
I'm gonna
fire
have a chat
fixation.
with you later, Micah.
Yeah, if we can find a clearer shot earlier, I think we should take it. But if that is going to be the cleanest time to try and do what we need to do, then like, yeah, secondary motive, we can make that statement. I think that makes sense.
Okay, so if you guys want to look into who Dorian Gray is and maybe perhaps try and reach out to them, see what happened, what information that they have about the Xe'thra Group, we can perhaps go to Ostia then and try and understand the security that Vaughn's currently being held in and see if we can, what the best plan of action is, rather than just hoping that the security is lowest at the time of the celebration.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds good.
I do think that we have earned a couple of days of rest, though, at least speaking from myself and I feel like the rest of our group. I understand that you guys need to get your Starship back, though.
We're a little emotionally attached. I think that we want to get it back. Yeah.
We did paint flames on the side.
We did. It looks really good. You should see it.
I can't wait to see it. Okay.
I'm going to go get my Starship now.
All right. I think that's what our plan is. Then we're not going directly after the Xe'thra Group then, is what it sounds like. We're only gaining information from Dorian Gray, both about the meeting between Hunter Kane as well as Vaughn McRaven, as well as any information that they were going to divulge to those two parties.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, I'm sure the Xe'thra thing can wait a little bit.
I agree. And so that meeting wraps up.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any other conversations that you guys want to have amongst yourselves?
100%.
Before or like after everybody kind of on ISIS, they all leave. Alex wants to hang back and grab the main group together. And just very quickly, this thing that he was talking about, and Alex kind of gestures towards Devas, yeah.
Davis. Is that with an O or an I?
Devas.
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 Okay.
Okay.
I see.
This is something that Claire brought up, walking right into it. This thing. The Ossing I search is ancient, unknown.
Is that what you hear when I say insert word here?
No, it's a lot higher pitched and more in the brain. But yeah,
makes my brain
something
itchy.
similar. It's not very good. I just we're walking into something like that, and there are some things that cannot be helped, but there's a knot in my stomach at the thought of it. I just wanted to make everyone aware.
Do we suspect it to be evil?
It is ancient, unknown, it is coming. And it is the thing we should feel, right, Claire? Is that what that whole thing was?
Hold, please.
I don't remember any of my prophecies to begin with, but that's what it sounded like when you guys said it back to me.
So yeah, that doesn't sound super good.
It sounds more than just an observer.
Fun.
The actual text, as I recall it,
perfectly,
is incredibly neutral.
Print Prophecy 1.
Print Prophecy 1.txt says ancient unknown, it is coming. There is some indication that we should fear it, but
yeah,
not any alignment information necessarily, and we are very chaotic.
I just wanted to bring that out there and let everyone know that Devos just gives very bad vibes. It's not good vibes for me.
I think we're going to have to murder this man.
Yeah, all right. Let's hang back a little bit on that. Some of I didn't know that Zuri was an adherent, to be totally honest. They didn't strike me as the type. Some of these kind of more religious types can be a little kooky, like Devas is, but
define kooky. What actions do they take?
Their motivations can get a little off from what I think the main goal of the Acolytes is. They are kind of around their like personal Enlightenment type of business where I think most of us here are kind of recognizing the political aspect. It's not so much about this kind of like torching to fuck yourself up because that's a good thing kind of angle. Is anyway, yeah. They get a little
themselves.
off. They get a yeah, that happens.
So that's what causes one to be able to hear the word.
Maybe
before and after.
I guess.
Zuri.
Yeah. I'm gonna think on that. They do that.
In the meanwhile, I would ask that you not reveal my non-psychic status to people who believe that psychics are superior, if you do not mind.
Yeah, no, it was a slip. My bad. I think I covered it up pretty well.
I don't think you realize.
Nona is reassured.
Right, so.
Doubt.
No, Nona has no capacity for doubt.
That was Claire. Claire is doubt.
Claire is doubting. Great.
Is there anything else?
I think it was just the four of you guys in that room, right?
Yeah. Anything else to talk about, I mean?
I don't think so. No, it sounds like the conversation is like, or you guys are going to need to figure out who Dorian Gray is and how to contact them.
Yeah.
After obviously getting your starship back.
All right, then. Let's get our ship and let's find the super spy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Starship exfiltration.
That plan only has 2 steps. How hard could it be?
Yeah, and all
That's
of
just
that.
2 things.
It's
and
just
more.
2 things.
Well, and all of that and more.
Maybe partially
we will
only that.
do next time.
Dun.
Yeah.
I don't know what the ending theme song is. I'm not gonna lie to anybody.
It's basically space western. If you picture exactly.
No, that's the opening.
No.
Oh, I thought they were the
That's
same.
the opening.
They're not
Yeah.
the same thing.
They're not the same.
That's fair.
We've got
There's a
2
sweet
different
guitar.
royalty-free
Yeah.
Hello.
Just listen, Kirsten.
There it is.
It's amazing.